Why, cuss your cruel God! I'm John Renton with the retro review of Nothing But the Night from 1973, directed by Peter Safdie, who did television as well as films like Countess Dracula. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. This is written by Brian Hales, who did television as well as a film called Warlords of the Deep. He unfortunately passed a few years after this film was released. May he rest in peace. And this is based on a novel by John Blackburn, which sounds like a name way too snooty to be involved in a gothic horror like this. But yes, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and not sweet Georgia Brown, as well as Deanna Doris, and we have some other people in this, including Gwyneth Strong, who plays a young girl named Mary Valley, who survives a bus accident where many people end up burned and dead, and oh my god, the absolute horror. And it all ties back to trustees of this particular fellowship involving an orphanage on an isolated island. It's set in the UK, a lot of accents, a lot of goddamn accents, some accents that are hard to understand for a novice like myself. And this is available on Amazon for free. I decided to give it a shot. I had heard of the title, I had never seen the movie, and Christopher Lee and something gothic with some weird occult themes going on underneath. Gee, it's almost like Christopher Lee typecasted himself. Christopher Lee, terrific actor, and of course, Peter Cushing. His work speaks for itself. Georgia Brown does good as a reporter named Joan Foster, and there's Dr. Haynes, played by Keith Barron, and there's also Michael Gambon. There's some other people that you may recognize from various British dramas and films, and basically that's the spoiler-free premise right there. Trustees of this particular fellowship are dying. And, the Colonel, played by Christopher Lee, he is bound determined to solve this mystery before more trustees or histories. Nothing but the Night Tales, woohoo. So, yeah, the Peter Pan ward for the children's wing of the hospital. Subtle, I appreciate that. And there's an underlying thing of Mary having nightmares about something that happened well before she was born. And again, all the time back to the trustees of this mysterious thing going on with this fellowship and what has led to this orphanage being so isolated and so bound, determined to get Mary back. Like there's something really important happening here. And the thing is, the movie simultaneously tips its hand too early as to what the reveal is going to be, and also takes forever to eventually reveal it. That yes, there's nothing wrong with a slow burn movie, but when you don't really have an interesting mystery and your characters are kind of and stuff just occurs. This is one of those films that hasn't aged all that well, and unfortunately ends up being kind of dull despite the talent involved. Sure, there's a reveal, and I guess that would be considered shocking, except I think even back then some people might have been able to figure it out. Nevertheless, it is what it is. I'm going to get into spoilers, though. Granted, the movie is over 50 years old, but I figured I'd give a spoiler-free premise there. So, yeah, it's on Amazon if you want to check it out. If you have an Amazon Video membership, so there you go. All right, so basically... we see, some trustees get destroyed. We see, we see one basically, blow up in a car on a slight incline. It's Supersonic Man. That's a deep cut for Riff Tracks fans. We see one get pushed off of a landing, and we see another get shot in the face. Obviously, they're not ruled as, or they're ruled as taking their own life, and... yeah, there's some, some kind of mysterious thing going on. And then the Colonel is investigating this stuff. He's trying to get back into solving what's going on. Peter Cushing's Dr. Mark Ashley. I don't know why that name made me laugh. I don't know why a man with the last name of Ashley makes me laugh. But that being said, he is talking to Dr. Haynes, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with Mary. Dr. Haynes is bound determined to figure out what's happening because Mary's having these nightmares. She has superficial scars, but something's really going on with her. And Lord Fondley is the name of some trustee guy. There's a lot of British slang and lots of stuff here that I think I would have to be deep into the understanding of how government stuff works over there. But Lord Fondley was a name that just made me laugh. Joan and Dr. Haynes instantly fall for each other. I mean, it is absolutely just boom right there. And Joan does talk to Diana Doris Anna, who is the actual mother of Mary, and after certain things that she did, she Something she did led to the deaths of 3 people and also some prostitution, so she went away for 10 years, I guess. And she hasn't been able to be in her daughter's life. Mary is still dealing with these nightmares. There's a hypnosis session that reveals more. The session is recorded about this fire, a man named Vincent, and other stuff that's happened and everything. The winds change, and Vincent got, other stuff got burned and everything, and stuff did not end well necessarily. There's stuff I'm struggling to remember because I'm sorry, this movie was pretty goddamn boring, and I liked slow burn, but I like slow burn to be good. So as things go on, Anna decides a bright idea would be to try and get her daughter in the hospital and everything in front of witnesses and basically say, I'll bloody murder you. Oh, fine, just have her. I don't want her anymore. Weird tonal shift there. So, Mary gets taken back to the island, to this orphanage, and there's also, there's these deaths and stuff going on. There was this star that was put on Haynes's head. He was killed with a blow to the head, so, the star obviously has something to do with it. Gee, I wonder if you can guess what, since I mentioned the occult earlier. And Anna ends up getting to the island on this ferry where they don't bother doing security checks. You can just leave your car right there in front of full view of people, and as long as somebody has their head slightly turned the other direction, you can get in the line with the people, and no one's going to recognize her, evidently, despite the giant beehive hairdo. A lot of big hair in this movie, especially on the women. So, I did note that Peter Cushing Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Sweet Georgia Brown, they flew Aunt Bee Airlines. It was actually Bee Airlines, but I just prefer to think that Aunt Bee actually owned something. And there were some explosives that were stolen from this particular work site, and then a boat blows up a little bit later, a boat that had more trustees on there. But then it's revealed later that, oh my god, the trustees actually were already dead. Why is this going on? Why are all these children here on this island? They seemingly are just enjoying themselves, but they seem awfully learned, and Mary's awfully deep into understanding some things. Despite trying to sound aloof, it's almost like Mary is happy to be back there because she has a purpose to be back there. And then they tie back to a woman named Helen that is essentially, that was the head of this whole trustee. She died and her husband Vincent died. It ties back to the fire that was talked about. Joan listened to the tape. She's like, hey, you need to really listen to this tape, doctor. You don't understand what's going on. And also Christopher Lee is trying to investigate the bodies of the 3 people that were blown up on the boat. It turns out, yeah, they were already dead. The big reveal, by the way, is that there were certain people that were really, really good doctors, like a woman named Laura that was linking the body and the mind and stuff like that. And one that was a brain surgeon. Are you getting it yet? Basically what it ends up being is that, well, there's this setup for this giant bonfire, this giant Burning Man-like thing, almost like Wicker Man, where it's going to be this scarecrow-like thing on this, on this stick that's going to fall down, that's going to burn. They're going to burn it in effigy as a celebration, a birthday celebration for Mary. And Anna ends up showing up, but Anna ends up getting caught by somebody. We don't know who. And also the people, the adults that are heading this orphanage, are not exactly wanting the police to be on the grounds, or just wanting them to be around the grounds and everything. Keep them from a distance, but make it look like they're actually, letting them investigate stuff. So, yeah, Anna, by the way, ends up revealed as being the Scarecrow lady and gets burned. And it turns out that Mary's not actually Mary, that basically Helen found a way to transfer her mind and her essence, and others found a way to transfer their mind and essence. Trustees basically wanted to take their old selves, cast them to the side, take their essence, and put it in these young children. Why? Fuck if I know. Fuck if I know. Because of cult. But they tie up Charles, that's Christopher Lee's character, and we get a monologue where basically Mary reveals the whole damn thing about being Helen, all that stuff, and then there's a helicopter that had been doing some investigating. Peter Cushing and Sweet Georgia Brown arrive, There are wrestling fans that are dying laughing in the comments while other people just don't fucking get it. They get in the helicopter, and the helicopter blades fan the flames, and they go the other direction that they weren't intended to, and start burning Mary. And then Mary says, "I curse your cruel God," and she falls off the cliff. And that's it. And that eliminates the trustees' plan, I guess. I guess? Whatever. I don't know. I didn't get this. I didn't find this investing. I mean, I found it okay at first, but unfortunately, some films from the 70s, and even older, still hold up. This is one of those, I think, that's forgotten for a reason. How many of you actually knew this movie existed? How many of you had seen it? Because I hate to say it, this got like a 1.5 on Letterboxd. Just wasn't very interesting. It got an F grade. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Renthlan. I'll see you soon.